Monica Lewinsky spent years watching the world define her before she could define herself. Welcome to the channel Fame Express. When people hear the name Monica Lewinsky, many still remember headlines before they remember the person. That may be the cruelest part of public scandal. A single chapter becomes so famous that it erases every chapter that follows. And for Monica Lewinsky, the world watched that happen in real time. In the late 1990s, she became one of the most recognizable women on earth almost overnight. Not through achievement, not through ambition, through humiliation. Television hosts mocked her. Newspapers reduced her to punchlines. Entire industries profited from public embarrassment that never seemed to end. She was young. The internet was young too. That timing mattered more than people realized. Lewinsky entered public life during the exact moment media culture was becoming faster, harsher, and more permanent. Long before conversations about online shaming or cyberbullying became common, she experienced both at a scale few human beings could survive emotionally. And somehow she did survive it. For years, Monica Lewinsky disappeared from public view whenever possible. Privacy became protection. Reinvention became necessary. While audiences continued discussing her as part of political history, the actual woman behind the headlines was quietly rebuilding a life from emotional wreckage most people could barely imagine carrying. That kind of survival changes a person. People often ask about her net worth now, about where life eventually led her financially and professionally. But the more interesting story may be how she rebuilt something far more difficult than wealth, dignity. Because public shame has a long memory. Lewinsky eventually returned to public conversation on her own terms. Older, more thoughtful, less afraid of the world that once laughed at her. She began speaking openly about humiliation, identity, mental health, and the emotional consequences of becoming globally known for your worst moment. There's a calm intelligence in the way she speaks now. Not bitterness, not self-pity, just someone who understands pain deeply enough to recognize it in other people too. And audiences began seeing her differently. Not as a headline, not as a scandal, as a human being who endured extraordinary public judgment while trying to preserve some sense of self underneath it all. That shift may be her real legacy. Because history often remembers events while forgetting the emotional cost paid by the people trapped inside them. Monica Lewinsky lived with that cost for decades. Yet she slowly transformed from a symbol of public ridicule into a voice for empathy and accountability in a culture still struggling with both. There's strength in that kind of transformation. Not loud strength, quiet strength, the kind built slowly after years of surviving things you never asked the world to witness. If this story stayed with you, share your thoughts below. And if you appreciate thoughtful documentaries that look beyond headlines and into the emotional reality behind public lives, consider liking the video and subscribing to Fame Express for more reflective stories about the people history never fully understood.